The top 10 things not to do when your marriage may be in jeopardy. All right, welcome to the Man on Fire Rising podcast. I am your host and the creator of Man on Fire, David Mailer. Let's dive right into the center of that fire and discuss the top 10 things that you should not be doing in the event that your marriage may be in jeopardy. Number one is don't ignore it and don't downsize it. I cannot tell you how many men I have coached over the years where the warning signs were there, the signals were there, the messages were there. And what did they do? They swept it under the carpet. What did they do? They buried their head in the sand. What did they do? They pretended that it would just magically go away on its own. That one day, all of a sudden, they'd wake up and boom, their marriage would be okay. No. You cannot ignore this and you cannot downsize this. And yes, all of these men that I've worked with will admit in hindsight, the warning signs were there. I just ignored it. So what are some of those warning signs? Well, maybe you've heard things like, I need you to sleep in a separate room. I can't sleep with your snoring. Or maybe you've heard things like, I love you, but I'm not in love with you. Or I just need a break. Or I just need some space. Or I'm not attracted to you anymore. Maybe she's going out with her girlfriends more often. Maybe she's burying her head in the book. Maybe she's on her phone all the time. Maybe she's watching TV all the time. Maybe every time you come to bed, she goes right to sleep. Maybe every time you get up in the morning, she jumps out of bed before you can touch her. Maybe she's telling you things like you're never present or you never listen. Maybe she's telling you, I don't feel attractive anymore in your eyes. Most men, they just sweep that under the carpet. They think it's no big deal until one day you hear the, I want a divorce. So what not to do? Don't downsize this and don't ignore it. Number two, do not point fingers. Yes, you've heard the old saying, you've heard the old adage that whenever there's one finger pointing outward, there's always three pointing back at yourself. Look no further than the mirror. Yes, you must recognize that pointing fingers is not the answer. Naming, blaming, shaming, judging, projecting, spinning in your head why it's your partner's fault will get you nowhere. Yes, there are real feelings there. Yes, it's very raw. Yes, it's hurtful. But pointing fingers is never the solution. It's not about who's right and about who's wrong. But what you must make sure that you don't do is please don't point fingers. All right, on to number three. Don't see this as permanent. Yes, as number one suggests, don't ignore it and don't downsize it, but don't see it as permanent, meaning don't give up. Don't think that it's futile, it's useless, nothing can be done, it's over. She said she doesn't love me anymore. She said she's not attracted to me anymore. She said she wants a separation. She said she wants a divorce. Don't see it as permanent. When it comes to a woman, she only means what she's saying while she's saying it, but a second later, a minute later, an hour later, a day later, a month later, she could mean the exact opposite. That's the nature of the feminine. Laugh about it, giggle about it, cry with it, do whatever you have to do, but don't see your situation as permanent while you also recognize you need to not ignore it. On to number four. Don't look for people to agree with how you're seeing this. Don't look for people to get behind you. Oh, could you believe she said this? Oh, could you believe she did that? Oh, could you believe after everything that I've done for her, how many things I bought her? I gave her another baby. I bought her a bigger house. I bought her another ring. I bought her the best car. I've done everything that she's asked of me. Can you believe that she's doing this to me? Don't look for people to agree with you. That's just you being frustrated. That's you being angry. That's you being mad. And that's you most likely avoiding your emotions. Getting people to agree with you is not going to solve your problem. In fact, you probably want people that will not agree with you, people that will challenge you, that will push you, that will stretch you, that will offer up suggestions or perspectives that challenge you to see things outside the way you've been seeing it. So let's get to number five. Number five is don't get advice. Well, wait a second, David. Right now, aren't you giving us advice? And are you saying I shouldn't talk to a therapist? No, I'm not saying any of that. I'm saying be careful of who you get advice from. You see, most people, they may mean well when they're offering up advice. It may be well intended. However, most people's advice is coming through the filter of their own hurts, their own wounds, and their own traumas. And while it may be well intended, it could be scorned. It could be coming from the fact that they've been hurt and now their filter of how they're seeing it is skewed and not necessarily coming from the highest vibration, the highest frequency, the highest truth that will truly serve you. So be careful about getting advice. Remember, you're not looking for people to align and agree with you, and you're not looking for advice, especially if it's not coming from a clean place. So be really careful as to what you let in between those two ears of yours. Number 6. Don't be analytical. Don't be in your head. If your partner is sharing with you that there's an upset, that the marriage may be in jeopardy, you can see the warning signs. Don't try to convince her why you should stay together. Don't try to be in your head about it. Don't try to give all the reasons, the thoughts, the reasons, the analysis, and the logic. No, this isn't about head logic. This isn't about trying to convince. This isn't about being analytical. This is about you dropping in and being in your heart, not in your head, making that beautiful journey from here to here. No convincing, no analyzing, no cheat charts, no left and right and the pros and the cons. Give up all the analysis and drop in and be present. Number 7. Well, I just said it. Don't be in your head. You got to stay in your heart. When you're in your head, we've heard the expression, you're dead. Analysis, what? Paralysis. That's right. You can't be in your head. Why? Because in your head is where the problem got created. In your head is where the pirates live. In your head is where the ego lives. In your head is where the stories live that you've made solid that are not serving you at the highest level of truth. You got to get out of your head. You got to get into your heart. You got to get into your truth. And once you're in your heart, you can be felt. When you're in your head, it's like you're a lawyer. You're just trying to win an argument. And you may win the argument, but you may lose the relationship. So you got to make sure that you are not, I repeat, not in your head. David, how do I do that? Well, as a side note, as you've been following a lot of the Man on Fire podcast, we run a 4-day immersion where we help men move from their head back into their bodies. We help you break free of the prison that's been holding you back. We help you get out of your head because so many guys are living in their head and they can't be present with their kids. They can't be present with their lady. They're just stuck up there all the time. We have the solution of how to get men out of their head and drop them back down into their bodies where you can start actually feeling again. And when I say feeling, I don't mean like feeling like all of a sudden you become some wounded little boy where you're tearing up all the time. I mean feeling like a human being, feeling where you have empathy again, feeling where you have compassion again, feeling where you could actually feel other people, including your wife. All right. What is number 8? Oh, this is a big one. Do not hide behind the kids. Do not use them as a part of this equation. What do I mean by that? Well, sometimes when we're struggling in a marriage, we bury ourselves in work, or we bury ourselves into playing sports or watching more TV, or we bury ourselves in just making sure that I have a good relationship with the children. And if you're getting all of the needs met with the children, then you're going to ignore the needs that you need to meet with your wife. You see, if you're meeting all the needs with the kids, or if she's meeting all of her needs with the kids, or if you're meeting all of your needs outside of the marriage and she's meeting her needs outside of the marriage, you no longer have a marriage. You have to make sure that the kids are not being manipulated. You have to make sure that you're not forming a codependency relationship with the children because you don't feel successful in the marriage. I don't think parents do this intentionally. It's a blind spot for everybody, but you got to make sure that you're not hiding behind the kids. Additionally, you got to make sure that you're not feeding them poison. You're not trying to get them to side with you. Oh, daddy said X, Y, and Z about you, mommy. Or mommy says, oh, I have a client right now where it's unbelievable how this man's wife is saying all these bad things. And next thing you know, the children are just parrots and they're parroting back the information. It's very painful. Or even when I was younger, I have a younger brother, and at age 3, his mother was reading him things inside of the divorce papers that she had, put in the papers. None of it was true, but she kept saying it out loud over and over and over and over again to the point where my 3-year-old brother, all the way, through the age of 11, could recite it back like a parrot, and he couldn't tell the difference of what he was indoctrinated into believing versus what's the truth. So don't hide behind the children. Don't manipulate the children. Don't use them to get them on your side. Just like I was sharing earlier about don't point fingers and don't get people to agree with you. Please don't do that with the children. It's the last thing you should do just because you're having tension or pain or you have discomfort in your marriage, which I deeply empathize with. And we can help a lot of men with this, but don't use your children because you're struggling in your marriage. All right, next, number 9. Oh, this is a big one. Oh, I wish I could help you guys with this. Don't go to massage parlors. Don't go to strip clubs. Don't have an emotional or a physical affair. I cannot tell you how many men and how many women go this route. They're feeling undesired, they're feeling unworthy, they're feeling unlovable within the dynamic of their marriage. And next thing you know, their human needs get the best of them. They're looking for connection, they're looking for variety, they're looking to feel significant again. And boom, all of a sudden they're in an affair. All of a sudden they're living a double life. All of a sudden they're living out of integrity with who they are at the core of who they were made to be. And you want to make sure that you are not, I repeat, not having a physical and or emotional affair. It will lead nowhere. Yes, every single human being, if you've been following my podcast, we all want out of pain. We want to move towards pleasure. Every single human being wants to feel more alive and doesn't want to feel dead. Every human being wants to feel worthy, not unworthy. And unfortunately, we have all of these vices, all of these things, from alcohol to weed to video games to overworking to money to accumulating all these materialistic things. And we have this thing called affairs that all of a sudden gets us out of pain. Don't go that route. Have the integrity, stay within the boundaries of the marriage, honor your commitment, honor your vows, get back into the marriage. And all right. And number 10, don't, and I repeat, don't give up. Yes, you must play the long game. You must know that when you took those vows, the sacred vows, most likely in front of your friends, in front of your family, in front of God, they are sacred vows. Marriages will have ups and downs. It'll have trials and tribulations. It will have seasons, seasons where it feels like hell, seasons where it feels like heaven. Don't give up. Remember who you are. Remember why you married this person. Remember, and if there's children involved, remember what you want to model for them. Don't expect your kids to marry something that looks different than what the marriage is that you're modeling. Don't give up, no matter how bleak, no matter how bad things look, no matter how dire the situation is. Don't give up. Have faith. And I can say this about every area of our life. Never give up. Always have faith. Always have faith. Trusting below, trusting above, trusting in yourself, having faith. So these are the 10 things that I wanted you, yes, you, I'm talking to you, to be aware of if your marriage is potentially in jeopardy. So what would I love? I'd love for you guys that have the means in the comment section, let me know which one of these 10 spoke the most to you, meaning which one was the one you really needed to hear, which of these 10. And if you have a friend that you feel could benefit from this or benefit from any of our Man on Fire podcasts, please make sure that you share that with them. All right, guys, here's to you rising with passion, with power, and with purpose, and to having an extraordinary relationship. So much love to all of you, and I'll see you inside of the next podcast. If you like what you're seeing and hearing, then hit that like button and subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell so you'll know the next episode has dropped.